Hi guys, welcome to Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the Bio Booster Armor, CY Chung.
Okay. And the meteoric man, Kyle Charles.
All right, so on to our third episode. We're talking about comic book movies that are neither from Marvel or DC. Where's your guy from?
No, it's a crappy film. It's not based on any
Oh,
comic.
okay.
Yeah,
Yes, I
Meteor
know. I
Man.
know about that.
Yeah,
He's got green cape and kind of light grayish green costume.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
Okay, I thought that based on the comic book movie. It was like, what? Mutual Man?
No.
It used to be in the comics all over the 90s. Is that where you got it from?
Yeah, because I know there was advertised in a comic, but there was never actually a comic.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So mine, I'm talking about the guy. Have you seen them?
No. Wait, Guyver?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I've seen Guyver.
The movies.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've got them both on DVD and Blu-ray.
Oh yes. That. So the Guyver, aka Mutronics,
Yeah.
with Mark Hamill, but Mark Hamill is not the Guyver, right?
Yeah.
What they put on the DVD cover is as though it's got one half the Guyver, one half Mark Hamill, as though actually the guy who's going to be the Guyver, but he's not. He's like a detective working out the key, trying to work out what's going on with Kronos.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Yeah.
But smart
Okay.
marketing. Smart marketing.
Yeah. Okay, let's do Guyver 1 first, and then you do Guyver 2, Doug. What do you think of Guyver 1?
I haven't watched it probably in years. Like literally the other day, I walked in, and my dad was watching it. I was like, oh, okay. The suits and stuff look cool, but this is pretty stupid.
Yeah, okay. So I agree with you. The makeup, the suits, the animatronics, that all that stuff, right? They look pretty decent. But to be fair, it is filmed later in the day, so the flaws are not so apparent. But I will say this, right? Now I'm watching it, and it is just so stereotypical. But you know, the one black guy who's the Zoanoid
Yeah,
in the group, he's
yeah.
rapping, right? And then after later on, he turns into Zoanoid, and he starts rapping. He's like all his clothes burst off, but his gold chains keep around his neck. I'm like, all right. I mean, they're playing it for laughs though, so it's not meant to be serious. So I was like, okay, yeah, right.
This isn't gonna age well.
No, it's not. But Mark Hamill's transformation into the maggot monster thingamajig was actually done really well, I thought.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, that's like I said, like the effects on that are amazing for the time.
I didn't think the guy playing the guy, Sean Barker,
Yeah,
the actual character, was that good. But he was way better when David Hayter was playing him in
yeah,
Guy with Dark Hero. David
yeah.
Hayter being Solid Snake.
My boy. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's the funny thing is when you're watching it out and you know it's Solid Snake, sometimes he dips into the Solid Snake voice.
yeah.
Like, yeah, man.
So it was a it was a
um,
prototype to it.
yeah. Would you say it's an upgrade or roughly the same quality wise by
Uh,
effects? And
effects,
when
I'll
I
say
say
is
that, I mean
upgrade.
like props and all that other stuff.
Yeah, effects wise, I'll say it's upgrade. The story is slightly better,
Okay.
not a huge improvement, but yeah. So
Okay. So you have not seen it yet, but Rikio
yeah,
is not on the level of these,
okay,
but it is, if you know what I mean. It's kind of as cheap as these, and the props and effects and all that other stuff is lower than this level,
oh really?
but completely over the top. It's Rikio is a campy horror comedy that's partially in it, right?
Okay, okay,
So when you watch it, you know what's happening. I mean, if I didn't say Riccio, people might think we miss it, right?
yeah,
But it's only because you haven't seen it that you could give your opinions later on when we
okay,
get to
yeah.
the talking up episode where you have to say good things about it because it's insane. It is totally insane.
So I'm in for a
But
treat.
speaking of Riccio, Riccio is more live action Fist of North Star than actual Fist of North live action. Okay, let me put it up.
Yeah.
Okay, now saying that swiftly, we actually move on to Fist of we said our opinions about this already, but let's just give a brief run over. It's cheap. It doesn't look good. The fights aren't that good.
No, the story is terrible.
It's just generally
a bad movie.
Oh yeah, when you say it's all right or entertaining or anything like that, it's just like miss it.
Like you said before, it's like there's no redeemable factors for that film.
Yeah. Oh look, certain actors like Gary Daniels tries, right? But there's nothing I would say is noteworthy, other than sometimes when they have the good explosion. I say quote unquote explosions, but you know when he does the thousand crack fist on North Star and someone's head blows up, or when Shin bursts all Shinro's limbs, like the veins in his limbs.
Yeah,
not too bad like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool, but it doesn't make up for everything else that's terrible about that film.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay, we'll stick to manga for now. Crying Freeman, have you seen that? Mark Dacascos.
I don't think I remember like the video case for it, but I don't know if I've seen it or not. I don't think I have.
It's all right,
but
it's not great. Okay. But it's decent. It kind of just adapts the first part of the Crying Freeman.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I haven't seen it for years, but I remember it's decent. Americanized, of course, because that's how these things go.
Yeah.
Mark Dacascos is good with the action scenes. Yeah. I can't say too much. I haven't watched it recently. However, there was a Chinese knockoff version of this called Dragon from Russia.
Okay.
Which was essentially Crying Freeman, but not.
And they didn't get sued.
Yeah, well, okay. You don't know about the dodgy things that are going on in so copyright sometimes it's slightly different laws in different countries. So there was one movie that had the whole ripped off the entire theme from Terminator, the completely different movie.
Yeah.
There was I think an Arnold Schwarzenegger film. There was a rip-off version of that with Robin Shou instead, but everything else was exactly the same.
Yeah.
Story-wise, so China, and Japan actually. The controversy that happened in Dragon Ball, where one of the guys scoring it, I can't remember which version, was just ripping off musical cues, and now they can't use that version. They have to overdub it. I think they have to overdub it with the Falconer version. I'm not sure exactly. I can't remember. Oh, wow. So all right. Battle Angel or Alita Battle Angel, we'll call it as its proper official. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I've got it, but I haven't actually got around to watching the whole thing.
All right. Well, I'm not going to spoil a lot of it. I'm just going to give you the surface details, right? That you probably already know. The effects look pretty good.
Yeah, from what I saw, the effects, they look pretty sick.
The story's all right. What they did with the face of Alita, weird, because none of the other characters look like that anime big eyes. You know what I mean? Everyone else looks human proportion face, even though she's meant to be a robot or whatever. But it just looks a bit off key because everyone else's face is normal. Even the cyborgs, with the faces attached to them, and hers has got like that big eye. It just looks a bit off key. They could have I don't know. I want to say they could have used the actual actress's face, but she's, I think, Spanish or something like that. And Alita, I don't know if you want to say she's Japanese or doesn't look Spanish or whatever, but I don't know because it's a robot. It could be look like anything, right? I'm just drawn to the manga. She could be any race, really. So they could have just kept the actual actress's face. I think I don't see why not. She just looks off.
I see what you mean, but I think if they did keep the actor's original face, uproar. People like, but she's meant to be this, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. It's true. Actually, speaking about that, it's all right though, right?
Yeah.
The action's good if you're watching an action film, and the rest of it's pretty decent. But it's kind of like it's going somewhere. Whether there'll be a sequel or not, it just be like, oh yeah, we are kind of ish hoping for a sequel.
Yeah.
Which is why we're leaving. Anyway, speaking of CGI alterations to actresses' faces, quote unquote, let's move on to Ghost in the Shell then.
Okay.
Did you read about? Did you hear about the controversy about that?
Yeah, I read about it and I thought it was all silly.
But, yeah. So, but did you read about initially what they were kind of planning, but not kind of planning to do? Because I think they were like, this is. So Scarlett Johansson was going to be the Major Katsuki, or the Major, right? And then there was rumors that, okay, does that mean that they're going to CGI Asian up her face?
Yeah.
And then people were like, yeah, but then why didn't you just hire an Asian actress in that case if you were going to go to those lengths? And then wouldn't it be kind of a bit, I don't want to say racist or anything like that, but it's just, what's it going to do to change the actress's face CG-wise if you deliberately got an actress to be notable to draw people anyways? You know, once you change her face, then she's not who you cast, technically speaking. Like, you know, that's true, it's a good point.
Okay.
Yeah. So I watched this and I thought this was a movie that was a rip-off Ghost in the Shell, trying to be Ghost in the Shell, but not being Ghost in the Shell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. It sounds about right. Because I ain't seen it.
It's good.
I will eventually.
It looks good. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's just like, oh, you take the source material and we could have made just a completely different film. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you are going to watch it still, though, out of curiosity, I guess.
I won't get around to it. Like,
why? May I ask why? Just because you're a fan of the manga, or you're a fan of the anime, or something?
The manga either. I just because like my brother, he's into the manga and everything, and he was one of the people who were like, I don't understand everyone's uproar because the whole point it's called Ghost in a Shell, and you know she once was a. Like the twist, I know the end. Apparently, you find out, that she was actually a Japanese woman, whatever, and like it kind of goes with the whole theme of the film.
Now, my logic was that either you could just say it was a side story and used a different set of main characters and stuff like that, which people wouldn't have minded. It wouldn't have been Ghost in the Shell, but it would have been at least Ghost in the Shell. Logically speaking, why the cyborg looks different and why she's not Japanese, because some people would expect it as the main character, right? My other thought was like, what you could do is start off with the Major, then have her unit damaged at the beginning, or a couple of minutes, however long you want inwards, and then she has to change body. Then you get to Scarlett Johansson's body. It was like, yeah, okay, there's a logical transition.
But even that way,
but the way they did it, sorry.
Even that way, people were still complaining because, like,
but the way they did it was even worse.
Yes, it's one of these things. They were damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because I don't know if you know about that TV show on Netflix, Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
The same sort of thing happened in that, and people moaned about it. Even though the whole point of the whole thing is that you just you put your conscious into a new body. It doesn't really matter, But
yeah. But I think it's Major Katsunagi. So why is the Japanese name with no, technically speaking, in this movie, she's just called the Major. So they kind of bypass it that way, right?
Yeah.
The Major is undefined as to exactly what she is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll see it.
Have you seen Speed Racer?
Sadly, yes.
Okay. Give me the lowdown, because I actually have not, and that's probably, and the reason I have not is because I choose not to.
It's I don't know if people know like the actual original cartoon about some dude called Speed Racer, and he's the fastest speed racer around. So basically, and he's got a brother called Racer X, but you don't know if he's really his brother, but he's his brother because he's meant to be dead. Blah 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 blah. So this film tries to do all that.
Yeah.
And okay, right. The film called Speed Racer, right?
Yeah.
But this is the longest film ever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it kind of takes away the whole point of the word speed. Like they have long, drawn out races. The effects and everything are amazing in it. Yeah. Give it that, but the story is
from the trailers. What I'm saying, what I think is the costumes, the props, all that stuff, the look side of it, the stylistics is all good.
Yeah.
Right. But you're saying when they put it together with the story, it just was whatever.
Yeah, you're like, wait, what? I'm confused. Why is this happening? Yeah.
Right. Okay, not much to be said about that.
No.
Or I guess one of the other things, like, what did you think of the completely whitewashed cast? Technically speaking, though, we also say in the anime, did they ever say exactly where they were from?
No, in the anime, they're all white, like Caucasian.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it's not like
yeah,
because no one like Asian is called. Like, I think their surname's like Speed or something like that. So there's no Asian people called Speed.
Oh no, not in the movie. I mean, in the original anime.
Yeah, in the original anime, they're like an American family.
Okay. That's fine. I was like, controversial because people were saying because it's based in Japan, they should have hired Japanese people as well, or Asian-looking people or stuff like that. Yeah. Clearly, look, their name is Speed, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, they got the kind of Americanized-ish names.
Yeah.
It could be generic enough to be anything from anywhere. So, yeah, it doesn't matter who they cast.
No.
It's what I think.
Yeah,
because when they speak, they sometimes in Japan on these sort of things where there's non-specific.
Yeah.
They will call that person Speed or when they have Japanese names in New Japan, they call them some English names. Even Spanish, Los Ingobernables, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got teams like Chaos and stuff like that. So hey, yeah, I don't see why these English sounding names can't be played by English sounding people.
Yeah, exactly. It makes those, because then if you did it with all Asian like cast, you're like, okay, but then you're sort of, it's not really, well, it is still Speed Rated, but it's not the original.
Yeah,
and you can just call it something completely different because then it'd be a new thing. But yeah,
like we were saying about Dragon Ball Evolution before, it's just. Look, they're drawn a specific way, right? But that doesn't mean that's specifically where they're from, even though the country of origin of the manga is from Japan or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're saying, are you saying bother watching Speed Racer or just like leave it be?
If you're gonna watch it at like 2 times speed or whatever, and just not have any of the audio because it would make no difference.
Right. So is it bad because it's lengthy or drags on, or just because there's pacing issues?
Pacing issues.
All right. So if you're saying if they cut out a chunk of story that's unnecessary, it would have been much better.
I don't even know if that would help it, if I'm honest.
All right. Just generally bad.
Yeah. But that's my personal opinion. But yeah.
All right. That's fair. Is it so? But it's so you're not even saying it's so good it's bad that it's entertaining to watch because it's like the Jason films.
No, it's not on that level.
You're telling me Jason, the Friday the 13th are better than the Speed Racer?
I would have to say yes.
Oh, excellent.
Sadly, okay. I was going to say that, but yeah.
All right, let's move on to Death Note, 2017, the English language version,
the
American
Netflix one.
Yeah, you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Right, so I don't personally have a problem with the cast.
No.
They changed it. Okay, so what I do have a problem is it's not a separate side story.
Yeah.
To what happened in Japan. If you just Americanized names, the American side story. That's something similar happened on this side of the world. Fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To say that guy and he's meant to be Light Yagami, but he's a white boy. I don't mind being a black guy.
Yeah.
Because that's fine. But you've got to make it sure people know that it's not these sets of characters. Otherwise, people think you're just doing diversity for the sake of diversity.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
I don't think the guy playing L had a good script or something like that, because it just wasn't. He wasn't cunning enough, right?
He was like the weak point to me in that film.
Yeah.
Everything else was like pretty good. It was just him like, I don't get you.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're trying to do, but you're not a genius. You're not working out things in advance. You just stumble sometimes into stuff.
Yeah.
And then you betray the person who actually knows what's starting to do stuff. Like his girlfriend is like, oh yeah, I'll plan this and that, and then he double crosses her, and it's just like, yeah, but you shouldn't be. You should have been taking a contingency to begin with.
Yeah, you should have been 2 steps ahead rather than like sort of like you said, lucking your way into these situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of Death Note. It's like a cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
But when the guy you're chasing is just nowhere near as good, then there's not really much tension. You're thinking, how's he going to get out of this? But he doesn't really get out of it. Like I said, it's situation, circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah, just knocks down his magnificence quite somewhat.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say, look, watch it if you're curious to see how the Americans can really jank up something, but you're really better off sticking with watching the Japanese live action if you want to watch live action.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, or if anything, I'll say if you haven't seen the Japanese one, the anime, maybe watch this first and then watch that, and then you'll be like, oh, okay. So then you don't go in having like bias, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know even that. It's just you can watch something that's bad first, right?
Yeah.
And then when you go to the next level, you're like, oh, actually, this is way better.
Yeah. So do it, because I think that's how I basically do it. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got 2 here that they're not really based on comic books, but they kind of the titles are, right?
Okay.
So Weird Science.
Weird Science. Dun, 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 dun.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen Weird Science and I've seen the TV series.
Okay. So what did you think of the movie?
It was okay.
Quite fun, actually. I thought. The dude from Mad Max made the appearance in this. What's his name? Mad Max 2. What's his name? He's Bennett from The Commando. Vernon Wells. Okay. So at some point in this, I believe, yeah?
Yeah.
So Mad Max 2 happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he returns as this character in Mad Max 2 here because, when they come out of the TV or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. Because he comes out in his leather chaps.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm really talking about. Sorry.
It's a bit out there, but it's just funny because it's like kind of a crossover, but not.
Yeah. It's like an unofficial crossover. Yeah.
But when I watched Weird Science like a couple of years ago,
yeah,
it was alright actually. It's similar to like the teen comedies of that era.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good 80s sort of, movie.
Yeah. Okay. Tales from the Crypt. Have you seen any of those?
Don't think I have. I've seen a couple of the TV show, but no, I haven't really. I don't remember seeing any of them.
Okay, so Tales from the Crypt. They've got. Let's see what movies they have listed here. I think I've seen 2 of them.
Okay.
Bordello of Blood and. Okay, so there's Tales from the Crypt. That's what the first film is, right?
Yeah. Then
there's Tales of the Crypt, Bordello of Blood, which is a feature full-length film of one complete film, because the original Tales from the Crypt has separate stories, like the TV show. How long was the TV? Were they half an hour long?
I think so. That or there might be an hour. Let me just quickly check. I can't actually remember.
Yeah, I think there might be short episodes, but Tales from the Crypt is basically an anthology film of short film put together with the. Did you watch Tales from the Hood?
Tales from the Hood.
Yeah. So it's similar to Tales from the Crypt, right? Tales from the Hood, basically, you have a story, you have something at the beginning, that groups some people together, and then you get the Crypt people, the whatever he is in Tales from the Hood, telling the stories to each person. All right, and then you might find out that the story is about specifically them, and they're all in hell at the very end.
Yeah.
Or how they do it, but that's what happened in the first Tales of the Crypt. They're quite decent, short stories.
Yeah.
I don't want to say be movie star, but yeah, that's kind of what they're going for, right?
Okay, yeah.
So Tales from the Crypt had 2 other films, Demon Knight in 1995 and Bordello of Blood in 1996.
Okay.
And they were right as well. They were kind of fun, kind of silly. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the style of film that you would expect from Tales from the Crypt. B-movie-ish. Right? Yeah. They had a third film called Ritual that was in 2001, but when it initially came out, it wasn't Tales from the Crypt. But now it's Tales from the Crypt. I haven't seen that one, though. But they're the style of exactly what you expect from the comics, where it seems like, a little bit of horror, sometimes horror comedy, depending on what's writing there. But it's all in that genre.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have to give that little butchers one day.
Yeah. And would you check out Tales from the Hood as well?
Tales from the Hood. Curiosity's sakes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to be just straight up as to what Tales from the Hood is. Basically, Tales from the Hood is, as you can tell from the title, is the black version of Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Tales from the Hood. I think Tony Todd's in one of them. Let me just give you a quick lowdown of Tales from the Hood, which is completely separate from Tales from the Crypt. It's got 3 movies, I believe. But yeah, Keith David's in it.
Okay.
Dude from The Thing. That's not Kurt Russell. The one that survived to the end. That isn't Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Executive produced by Spike Lee.
Okay. Wait, what?
Yeah, Tales from the Hood, 1995. Executive produced by Spike Lee.
Oh, sweet. That's pretty sick. Okay. Even more reason for me to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's Tales from the Hood 2 and Tales from the Hood 3. I think Tales from the Hood 1, he is like a funeral director. Yeah. And he's telling all the people that are at the funeral about what happened to the bodies.
Yeah.
And turns out each one of the bodies is them.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but similar to like what Tales from the Crypt, like I was saying, the people will walk in at the beginning of Tales from the Crypt. Yeah. They sit down like the reception room or something like that, and they start conversing with each other, and then they tell the stories of what happened last to them. Oh. And then I don't know what happened to last to me. And then obviously, because the last thing that happened to them, they died.
Yeah.
So
obviously, they won't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. I, Frankenstein.
Yeah, I've seen it. That's all I can really say about that film.
Yeah, okay. What did you think?
It was... I don't know. I was kind of like looking forward to it because it had, what's his name in it?
Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started watching it. I was like, I don't think this film knows what it wants to be.
Yeah.
And at the end, I felt the same way.
Let's just, by the way, let's just clarify.
Yeah.
Frankenstein is the doctor, and Frankenstein's monster is the monster. Yeah. Except here, Aaron Eckhart is playing this character called Adam Frankenstein. So when we reference Frankenstein, we mean Adam Frankenstein, okay?
Yeah.
Unless we say Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I'm trying to think about that. Yeah.
So. Okay. No, you know what the key thing I remember from this? Right. So he's fighting angels and demons, and I thought what? But the key thing I remember this is Jay Courtney is big bulky angel, right?
Yeah.
Has a sword, has an axe that he clips onto his back. Yep, except the axe has got where the hilt is at the bottom end of it. It's got a spike. Now I don't know if you use that. I can't remember if you use that spike to stab in stuff or whatever. But what I'm just saying is that it's so high up on where it's attached to his neck, not his back, his shoulders area, that if he took an uppercut, he's just gonna,
fall on into it and die.
No, if he took an uppercut with the axe on his back, That's it. Spiked. He's finished.
Yeah, his head's gonna go. Yeah, it's and isn't like he fighting some evil corporation?
Look, I don't think it's memorable, good or bad.
Yeah,
right?
No.
I can't remember exactly what's going on. I do know I watched it.
Yeah.
I can't say any more of it. Then I think when I watched it, strange stuff was going on, but not so strange that it's memorable. More strange like it's like, what is it? This is the Frankenstein story?
Yeah, that's exactly how I thought of what I was like.
But to be fair, it's based on the comic of I, Frankenstein, so they were the digital graphic novel, the digital only graphic novel, by the way. Yeah. Okay. So who knows exactly what they did and how accurate it is, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a. Yeah, it was that weird time when that came out. What was it? Dracula Unleashed.
Untold.
That's it,
Yeah.
And they just blend into one film for me, even though they're completely different. But
because I think, not to say that they were trying to do it with part of this, because I don't know if it was, but the Dark Universe with like you say.
You're right. If I remember correctly, I think this was meant to be one of the many times they tried to start the Dark Universe with that.
Yeah, with this, the Mummy, Dracula Untold, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
Is it? Were they doing a crossover, or would you say it's a bit like the Avengers, right?
I don't even know what they was trying to actually get at the end with all this.
Yeah.
Because were they gonna, like you said, were they gonna team up?
Was this even part of it? I don't know, but the marketing now, whether this was going to be part of that Universal Monsters crossover or not, it did seem like it just came out coincidentally around the same time where that was being mentioned.
Yeah.
But then again, the Mummy had nothing to do with Dracula Untold, and they were more linked together as part of the Universal Monster movie Dark Universe. No one to say collection, but grouping.
Yeah, it made no sense.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We are going to get onto your favorite and the man god himself, half man, half machine in this, but still man gods. Vinny D himself.
Yeah.
Bloodshot. What do you think of?
You know what? Bloodshot. I didn't know much about the actual comic. But watching this, I was like, you know what? It's a cheap superhero film and it's okay. Have you seen it?
No. I don't. I'm not a Vin Diesel fan, right? But one finding is the issue is so Bloodshot's going to be nano whatever enhanced, but we know from Vin Diesel that his normal characters like Dominic Toretto and Triple H are enhanced, kind of genetically whatever they are on their baseline. So how much more next level must Bloodshot be to be better than the normal humans that Vin Diesel's also portrayed?
Well,
if anything, they might. If he's a normal human with nanobite technology, he might be a downgrade from the other two normal humans they've played already.
It's
either that or he's going to be super overpowered.
Well, in this, I was going to say he nearly dies in it, but he nearly dies in freaking.
Oh, you can give me spoilers because I think I know roughly what goes on anyway.
I was going to say,
the trailers, you can.
Yeah, basically, there's like a bit where he nearly dies. Because like he's up, like...
Wait, you see, nearly dies. You don't mean the first time he nearly dies.
No,
you mean actually in the film where he gets deep powers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then, so basically, there's a bit where has to constantly rejuvenate it, and he's like basically burning up all of these nanobots or whatever. And then I was about to say, oh yeah, he nearly dies. But I remember in all the Fast and Furious movies, he nearly dies. So it makes no difference.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the effects are pretty decent. For on the budget it was made on.
Really? What does it? When you say pretty deep, like, are you saying that it looks low budget, or what's what there?
No, like the effects are pretty good, but then when you find out how much the film cost to make, you're like, oh wow, they pulled that off really well for being on such
really? Okay.
Such a low budget.
Yeah. When you say low budget, you mean like still low budget, like 70 million or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Compared to like the other like Marvel DC films where they're like,
oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
$6 billion, whatever. But the only thing I found hilarious about this film, there's a bit where he goes to apparently London, okay, quote unquote London, to meet this woman who he thought was his wife, but it's not his wife. Yeah. And then there's a chase scene, and it's not London at all. It's actually nowhere in England. It's like in South Africa or somewhere like that. Somewhere cheap where they played the film. But you can blatantly tell that it's not London. After he leaves the woman's house, because obviously the shot they got the house is from a house in England. But then after that, it's literally just South Africa. Even the license plates on the car are not even English license plates. So that kind of gives it away straight away. They're driving down the wrong side of the road. It's like, I'm from England. I know these things are fake. So yeah. And it costs 45 million to make this film. So yeah, it's pretty low budget for a film like this. So yeah.
I mean, look. It's a Vin Diesel film. He's not on the level of, to me, Jason Statham, right? Because I'll watch all these Statham films just for Statham, right? Even if they're good, bad, or whatever. But I'll probably watch this not out of the curiosity of Vin Diesel, just like, let's just see how much his actual superhuman character compares to his normal human characters, because we know how nutty they can be.
To be fair, I think he's actually more toned down in this than he is in like Fast and Furious.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the oddity of an enhanced character, less powerful than a normal, screen persona character.
This is a bit weird. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Oh boy. Have you seen this?
Oh boy. I've seen both versions.
Right, I have not seen the English language version because I heard it's meant to be so bad. Is it? Okay. What do you think of the original Korean version?
I liked it until the end.
Okay.
But then there's my same problem with the American version as well.
The quote unquote twist ending, but more like the what the hell ending, right?
Yeah, it's like,
which though was massively part of the plot, so it didn't come out of nowhere.
No, it didn't come out of nowhere, but it's just like, why is that the plot?
Yeah.
Like, it's all like his whole the bad guy's whole reasoning is weird.
Yeah, but that now. Yes. I don't disagree none of that, right? But you follow the logic. Okay, look, what I'm saying is B to C makes sense, right? But A to B, to happen to B to C
doesn't make sense.
Why? Yeah. How? What?
Like, I get why he hates the main character, but then it's his own fault.
Yes.
You know, you shouldn't be
in both versions. By the way, in both versions or the Korean version?
I can't. In both versions, but I can't remember. I think they might have changed the sister-brother thing in the American version.
Oh, to cousins?
Let me quickly check. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, why?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
But I've been generally told the American version inferior.
Yeah, it's not as good, but
right.
It's one of those things again. I reckon if you didn't know there was a Korean version and you watch the American version, you might like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Okay.
But it's just it's literally I liked all the the hammer fight in the car park and all that stuff. How it was all shot in one take and all that.
So okay. Now in the Korean version, he has the hammer fight in the hallway, which is one long shot, right?
Yeah.
Well, they might have switch cuts and certain things, right? But it's meant to be one extended long shot. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and that's to show his durability and how vicious he is and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I think when the American version did it, it was done to look cool.
Yeah.
So it didn't have the same effect as to what they were trying to visually tell with the physical actions. Is what I've been hearing. It was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a massive hammer fight. Yeah, let's make it look good, rather than he's finding his way to get to specific set of people, and they all start getting. They're like, this guy, man, he's just, but he's coming at us, get away, and stuff like that. So
it's like, how can I put it? It's like you were saying, they made something like the original one. It's so simply done how it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in this one, they made something simple and made it too over the top and complicated. Like it doesn't really flow as well, the fight, rather than in the original Korean one where it's like, oh, this is cool. In the American one, it's like flashy lights. Not that actually happens, but you know what I mean. It's like flash lights. Woo, woo.
I will also say I have seen that specific fight scene, and okay, to be fair, the Korean version was doing it as one take because also there's coolness element to it, right? Because we train these people, you're gonna see how they go. This is a long sequence, and the actual actors are doing it, right? Because we practice this shit. Let's show you what we can do.
Yeah.
Whereas the American version, there are many cuts, so it's not as if it's like not done for the same reasons, you know?
Yeah.
Because you've got cameramen and you've got stuntmen kind of moving past the camera so they can cut the scene, and say I think the camera moving across things so they can black out, do those certain edits.
Yeah.
So it didn't come off the same way. It didn't come off as impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's a bit weird. Yeah. But like I said, if you got time, I say don't rush out, watch it so you can see the big weird difference. But like I said, both of them, I like them to the end and the reasoning why. They're like, this is a bit too much. You could just kill him, rather than trick him into doing that. It's a bit.
Yeah. All right. Have you seen? Actually, I'm going to double check. I didn't mention this film before, right?
All right.
Okay, let's just see. I don't think I mentioned this film before. Accident Man.
Accident Man.
Yeah.
What is this?
Scott Adkins film. You know who Scott Adkins is, right?
Yeah, I know who Scott Adkins is. Yeah.
Yeah. So he plays an assassin who specializes making assassinations look like accidents. That's why it's called Man, right? But obviously, there's betrayals involved. His wife gets killed, and then he's got to fight the people that killed his wife and stuff like that. Actually, it's all right for the movie, the kind of budget that it was. I don't want to say it's a straight to DVD movie or stuff like that, but it's an independent film kind of. So the budget is not the greatest.
Yeah.
Ray Park and Michael J. White are a tag team here, right? And they fight Scott Adkins together. And I'm thinking, this is going to be really good. It was actually it was an all right fight. It was an all right fight. It wasn't great, but I think they had more time in it because some of these movies get pumped out really fast. It was better. However, his fight with Amy Johnston was actually pretty good. And it wasn't me disbelieving, like, a man of the size of Scott Adkins.
Yeah.
I could believe he would have trouble. Amy Johnston's not a huge-looking lady either, right? But she's about pro wrestler lady size.
Yeah.
And they're having a fight. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I could believe she would have him on the ropes at certain points. Because sometimes it's like cheap shots and stuff like that. But when they're doing the film, you're like, it works within the characters as well, what they might do. Because she's called Jane the Ripper. And she gives them a couple of shots sometimes as well. And then in the end, I think he grabs her and he throws her into water or something. Just like he just brute strength her. They try to technical fire her in the end. Yeah. I was like, it does make sense. I can't. Yeah, what if you can't match someone on a certain skill level, or they're you're equal kind of relative to that.
Yeah.
Go for your advantage that they don't have. Makes sense. Yeah, Accident Man is a decent, good action film, but you have to kind of them straight to DVD ones or those independent budget films.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and they don't really. If you think it's more about, it might have been a better movie if it was more about how he was making doing those assassinations and making them look like accidents all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they switched it up a little bit. I think it might have been just because they had to put if they killed the wife or whatever, then he has a reason to go and fight all these people via action scenes. So it kind of makes sense that way, depending on how they want him to do it. Okay. Any other films that you might have seen based on comic books? Like, okay, so there's the two other Alan Moore, which is From Hell and V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
But I think they're both. No. Were they both by DC? Vertigo.
I know V for Vendetta is Vertigo.
Yeah. So we got. Are we going to include Vertigo here, or I don't think we should? Kind of.
Well.
Oh, you know what? Since we mentioned it, right? Okay, since we've mentioned it, let's say it.
I say we should because technically, we mentioned Kick-Ass. Technically, that was published by Marvel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought Millarworld was separate, but
no, that wasn't I think it was Kick-Ass 2 when he separated it to Millarworld, but Kick-Ass 1 was distributed by Marvel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
All
right. From Hell, you seen it?
No.
I have seen it. I thought it was quite a lengthy film. Actually, it's not a lengthy film, but I remember watching it thinking, "Oh, this is taking a while to not get moving, but just like step to step, and just From Hell is based on Jack the Ripper. It's another one of those who say Jack the Ripper might have been this person's plots.
Okay.
It's alright. It looks like kind of the aesthetics look like from the era that it was based in.
Yeah.
I just don't think it was suspense-wise moving there that fast enough in that to take to the direction where they're looking for clues. But I don't think it's actually meant to be like that. I think it's meant to be like a character study of these people working out what kind of person would be Jack the Ripper.
Yeah. Was this the one with Johnny Depp?
That's right.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. For some reason, I keep thinking that was the sequel to Sleepy Hollow. I don't know why.
Yeah, because it kind of is similar, like look-wise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not much to say about it. I don't remember it. I mean, I've only watched it once. Yeah, maybe it'd be better watch it again once. Okay, I watched the film Equilibrium. Remember you film Equilibrium with Chris and
T. Diggs.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And then I fell asleep watching it. Right.
Yeah.
My bad, actually, because the film trailer advertised it in the cinema as it was going to be an action film, but it's actually a character film as well. So the second time I watched it on DVD, I was like, actually, this film was really good. I don't even know why I felt. So maybe if I watched From Hell again, I'll and I know in the kind of what type of film it is.
Yeah.
Then you sit down and kind of engage in it more.
Yeah, that might be true. Give it another try. I guess.
Maybe watching it again won't change my mind, but whatever.
Yeah, but you also got to remember that film's
like
from 20 years ago now. So yeah.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
What do you think of V for Vendetta?
The first time I watched it, I didn't like it because again, I thought it was gonna be some action-packed movie and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, you never knew about the comics beforehand?
No. I saw the comic, but I never actually read it or anything like that. I didn't know much about it.
When you say you thought it was going to be a action movie, you saw the trailers, and the trailers made it look like something it wasn't, essentially, right?
Because they kept on saying it's by the directors of The Matrix and blah, 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 blah. So, you automatically think, oh, cool, it's going to be crazy madness.
Yeah, slow-mo, right?
Yeah. But then I watched it the second time, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it. Really? I took the story
what changed? What changed? Was it because you knew it was going to be like I don't want to say a character study, but more of a drama?
Yeah, because I knew what I was in for this time. I preferred it. I was like, oh, okay, I can actually not be one of those ADD people like waiting for when's the explosions gonna happen. I actually sat down, absorbed the story. I was like, oh, this is quite a deep film.
Are there actually long sections in between where I see quote unquote action because it's not an action movie, but like something happens where explosion, a little skirmish or something?
Yeah, there's lots of that.
No, but as in lots of long breaks in between that sort of thing. There's more, character drama with a little bit of action thrown in here and there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically what it is.
All right. Well, kind of based on the source material, that kind of is what it is. So
yeah. Which I found out afterwards. But yeah. Yeah, I just because that came out before Watchmen, isn't it?
I can't. You know what? I cannot remember. Well, okay, but here's the thing with Watchmen. As we know, it's Zack Snyder, so it's action. I know the Wachowskis here you're saying, but they're not really, I don't want to say known for action. They did do The Matrix, which was good action.
Yeah.
But this sort of film doesn't really have action unless you throw these scenes in just for the hell of it. But then it's like, okay, why having an action scene in a government conspiracy?
Yeah,
film?
exactly. Yeah.
Well, why are you having kung fu scenes, anyways?
Yeah.
Why are you having martial arts films in here?
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
Because the plot is about the gunpowder plot to blow up Parliament.
Yeah, and people being their rights taken away from them, blah 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 blah, sort of stuff. So yeah, it would be weird if that was full of like action scenes galore. Yeah, it would sort of take away from the whole story, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it wouldn't suit it. Oh. Okay, so here's the thing, right? We're saying not Marvel or DC.
Yeah.
And we included some Vertigo. So are we throwing Constantine in there? Or not?
Could do, unless you want to talk about Constantine at a different time, like an in-depth one. That's up to you.
All right.
You like that, didn't you?
How fair are we? You know what? Okay, let's. Because technically he is and he isn't, but then we could go into Red Sonja and Conan the Barbarian as well in that case, because they were Marvel at one point. They weren't. Oh, you know what? Let's just do them because they're only three. But then cut off at that, right?
All right, cool.
All right, because we mentioned them. What did you think of Constantine?
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
It's nothing like the source material whatsoever.
I think the attitude of the character is like the source material.
Yeah, that's about it. But
yeah.
Because I knew who Constantine was, but I knew him as Hellraiser. Is it Hellraiser? Hellblazer. Yeah.
Hellblazer.
Yeah. So I didn't really know him that much, and then when that film came out, I was like, oh, that name seems familiar. Watched it, and once I saw in the credits it said like DC films or Vertigo, I was like, oh, okay, that's what it's based on. And then I just totally forgot that Constantine was meant to be an English dude, and just bought into the film and enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. They were like, okay, this is the world we live in. Boom, that's straight up. No need to explain this, that, or the other. Angels, demons, magic spells. Let's get going.
Yeah, and
and the noble cast of characters as well. Yeah. No one stuck out like and they used Rachel Weisz's character as like the introduction to us.
Yeah,
like audience style. Yeah, okay, it's well done. It's well done.
Yeah. It's a very good film. It's a bit questionable now. Once I sort of knew who Constantine was, like, oh, okay.
You mean like because he's blonde, Sting, Gordon Sumner, Sting looking kind of guy, not Sting from Ref.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I was like, doesn't change anything to me, to be honest.
No, I think the attitude of the character was there, and it got across how he deals with these situations.
Yeah.
Quite much. I mean, it's faithful to the character, but similarly unfaithful to the source material. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
All right. So let's hit Conan first, and then we'll finish with Red Sonja.
All right.
What did you think of? It's Conan the Barbarian, 1982. Conan the Destroyer, 1984, I believe, and Conan Barbarian, 2009.
That sounds right. Yeah. Let me check that.
Yeah.
With Jason Momoa.
Yeah. I enjoyed
2011.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. I enjoyed Conan, the first Conan actually. Yeah, it was a bit silly, right? But it kind of embraced the silly. Like some of it's a bit over the top, and some of it's a bit weird, right? Not weird, but puppetry and stuff like that. But as part of the verse, it all works.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're gonna take this material kind of seriously enough. That any sort of bonkers whatever that is actually part of the world that we live in. Okay. Fair enough. Like the wheel when you're a kid, you get changed to a wheel of pain, and then like 20 years later, you're super buff, even though you're thinking, right, so how often they get feed, and why have all the other children around that were pushing the wheel of pain? He clearly ate the children. That's what he said in the audio commentary, Arnold. I ate all the children.
Fair enough. It works, I guess.
Yeah, and he has a feud with a camel, as in he punched the camel, space camel spits on him, like, you know. Yeah. It was quite enjoyable, the first one. Second one is Conan the Destroyer is not too bad. It's not great.
Nah,
it's PG.
It's still got that 80s cheesy campiness to it, so yeah. It's not that bad.
I did not feel that Jason Momoa's Conan Barbarian was particularly memorable. More like it just was a special effects here and there upgrade, but then it was a story kind of downgrade.
Okay.
What did you think?
No, because I haven't seen it fully, so I don't know. I just remember it being like slightly violent, but then I might be getting it confused with the game. So.
Okay. No, I was just saying it doesn't have the same feel, even though 1982 Conan Barbarian is much lower budget.
Yeah.
The new version, or the 2011 version, just doesn't have the same feel, swords and sorcery style. It's like, okay, special effects, and this is what's the draw. I don't want to say Jason Momoa is bad in it because he's not, but he's more this bro-ish dude, kind of Aquaman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas Arnold was an Austrian that was playing the barbarian, but whatever, you kind of accepted that. You kind of just like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah, I get that.
Because he played the barbarian, you'd expect the barbarian kind of to be.
Yeah.
Whereas Surfer Dude Barbarian is a bit weird.
Yeah.
No matter how little level of Surfer Dude he's in, you know.
Yeah, no, I get that.
All right. Red Sonja. What did you think of this?
I remember Red Sonja more than I do of the first two Conan.
Oh, hold on. Let me just clarify something here, right?
Yeah.
So it's right. It's Red Sonja. Okay. So is it in the film pronounced Red Sonja, even though it's a Y, it's an I instead of a Y, so it's Red Sonja.
I'm pretty sure they pronounce it Red Sonja.
All right, cool. Just checking.
I could be wrong. It's been many a moon since I've seen it.
Well, you know, at some point of publication, it was a Y.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they just the pronunciation just carried over, even though the name changed, because people identified, they knew who the person was.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, that's how name's pronounced. Anyways, yeah, had Arnold Schwarzenegger in this, where he wasn't Conan, but he was Conan.
Yeah,
he was Calador. He legally was not Conan, even though he says, I am known by Calador in these parts. And funny enough, he was only in it for like 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's only meant to be a cameo. However, I thought he was in this film much longer than he was. And I was like, that's a credit to the actors.
So did I.
Because they used multiple takes and multiple screen setups, camera setups. So they had the one footage they filmed, they had it 3 times.
Yeah.
Ingenious.
That's pretty clever. Because literally, I thought he was in, like you said, the film a lot more than he really was. Not until I watched it again later on, like, hey, he's barely in this.
Now, a little sidetrack here, but in Avengers Infinity War, Chris Evans was only in that movie for about 10 minutes.
Is it?
Yeah, Captain America was only in that movie for 10 minutes, roughly. And yet somehow he was... I don't want to say he felt like he was there all the time, because he wasn't. But he was just like, yeah. When you realise how little screen time he did actually have, I'm thinking, actually, you know what? Quite well done, where he was put in enough.
Yeah.
Distributed within the movie, you didn't realise it. But yeah, they totally cheated Arnold.
Oh, wow. Yeah, now you say it, thinking like, not a sidetrack to Infinity War, but now thinking about it, it's like, I can name like 3 scenes that he's like really in.
Yeah. So let's just clarify. Where he rescues the Vision, that's one scene, right? Where he speaks to War Machine.
Yeah.
Then when they fly to Wakanda.
Yeah.
And then when he fights in Wakanda.
Yeah.
So each of these scenes, because I've just named them, 4 or 5, they were like 2 minutes each, 2-3 minutes each.
If anything, the longest scene he's probably in is about like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh. Ingenious. Yeah.
So Red Sonja, what did you think of this?
Yeah, it was a good. I really enjoyed it as a kid.
Yeah,
I liked it.
You know what? As part of the 80s era style stuff with the sword and sorcery, like Conan and all these other things like Beastmaster and whatnot.
Yeah,
it suits what the genre was in.
Yeah, big time.
Whether you say it's good or not is like, well, yeah, it looks B-movie-ish, but that's the era of the time.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I can't really say much more. Any particular memorable bits for you? Other than knock off Conan in it.
I remember some people. I don't know if I'm now bleeding that into the Amazon scene in Justice League. But I remember 3 women on like zip glides, and they get killed. Again, I don't know if I just made this up, and it's in my head canon now that it happened.
Well, I think I cannot remember. When it is, I think Arnold technically fights a giant. He does fight kind of a giant snake or something.
Yeah.
But so as something that was kind of done well is that she gets assaulted. Okay, so you don't see it, right? Because they cut away. But I'm like, okay, why she's Red Sonja? Even on a film this budget, and they know it's probably going to be 15 or 18 rated, they didn't show nothing that that you don't need to see.
Yeah.
So like, okay, the troops, whoever, her family gets killed, whatever hell was going on, and then she gets assaulted, and then it cuts to the next scene where she's kind of like getting up, and then she makes a promise to go and murder them all to the whoever god, whatever it is, for the cry of vengeance. And I'm like, it's well, it's smart. They could have went gratuitous if they wanted to, but they chose to have a little restraint.
Yeah.
But kind of, I don't want to say it's key to her story, because when it goes to Calador and stuff like that, she will only be with a man who can best her in battle. So kind of there is relevance to it later on. And there was kind of a good thing with Calador where it's like, it's good. I will only be. I don't mind being. Would like to also be with a woman who can defeat me in battle or some degree like that. And it's just like, they're making a key thing that was relevant from the beginning, relevant throughout the entire. No man can have her unless he can defeat her in a sword fight, and then,
But then if he defeats her in a sword fight, isn't she dead? Because most sword fights ends with someone getting stabbed or their head cut off.
Well, that means, that's even better on her part, right? Because that means no man can have a full stop.
Yeah.
Excellent move then on her case. Yeah. I don't want to be with her. Yes, exactly. So she's smarter than all of us put together, right?
Exactly. She's outfought everyone. So I'll never be tied down.
Yes. Indeed. That's exactly. You know what? She's smarter than all of us all along. Yeah, I didn't realize that till now.
That's smartest, man. Good on her. Cool. Good on her.
All right. So, any other common movies based on Marvel, not based on Marvel DC that you know off the top of your head, or do you think that you've seen, of course, or do you think that'll conclude us for now?
Robocop was a film first, and
and Predator and Aliens were film first as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of them where they got the rights afterwards.
After the film, but it's not the same, is it?
Yeah, no.
No, I can't actually think of any.
Okay. Oh. Okay, that's drawing us to a close for this particular episode. Then, in that case, right?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Okay. Yes, it does. So I'm the Asian computer program spirit in a white girl's body, C.Y. Chung.
Okay. And I am Racer X Kyle Charles. He's from Speed Racer. Terrible. Yeah.
And thanks for listening to this episode.
Yes. And now you can finally, if we've forgotten any, you can, yell it to us. And
but do let us know, though, if they were expecting a good or bad film, what type of film we were expecting, because, that does change the view of how you perceive it.
Yeah. So just let us know, drop us a message or whatever, and then we can maybe watch those films that we have maybe left out, and review them and see if they were worth mentioning at all. So yeah, that'd be very nice of you guys. Thank you, please.
All right, later
and bye.